What I have seen with you is you have been able to merge design and technology together. What does it mean when we say that design can be augmented by
I
technology?
think, like you mentioned, I think it's very few people who actually even recognizes that as a design person, adapting technology and doing something. And when you say what is the need, I think that is the most important need right now. So we are not into old school design industry anymore, right? It's so dynamic, especially if you're working for like an e-commerce company, which is so fast paced and so dynamic. You can't just be, I mean, no offense to, I mean, I come from the agency background. I have worked there. I loved working there, but you can't continue working in the same fashion in the dynamic as an e-commerce industry can become. So that's when you need to kind of figure out ways how you can kind of enhance yourself, not be physically, but through these tools to kind of achieve much better and much larger. So you can't keep throwing human at a problem. So how large your team can become, right? Like I mentioned, it's so dynamic. It's not that you can't have your own luxury of time to kind of, hey, I'm a creative guy and I need that. I need to not in my zone and all. That doesn't work. So what I realized was the people who are in technology, they will not be aware of the real problem of the design world. So that's why they wouldn't have solved it till now. So
Hmm.
then once you make them aware, they'll say, hey, probably if that's your core problem, then probably this is how you solve it. See, figure out how technology kind of definitely help enhance your design, right? So it's not just Photoshop, Illustrator, whatever tools you use. It's much more beyond that. So it somehow amazed me. It's more like keeping a magic wand in your hand and like getting things done, right?
If you look at design as a space, 20, 25 years back now,
Mm,
Adobe
mm,
came,
mm,
changed everything.
mm.
There was so, before that, people were using clunky on-premise
Yeah,
computer
yeah, yeah,
systems
yeah.
to actually design anything out. And then Adobe came, beautiful products, power tools actually for every individual,
Yep,
and it
yep.
completely changed the game. And then for so long, there was not much.
Think of getting a movie ticket. Think of getting any transportation, any bus ticket. It was such a hassle. I remember going, standing in those queues. My dad used to kind of make me stand there, like wait for a couple of minutes here. I'll just go do some other errands in between. So it was
Yeah.
all hassle. Now see things have changed, right? So it's comfort. So whatever you thought 10 years back was something which is out of the world, it's a norm today. Who thought probably in my grandpa's time, just dialing some number in a phone and talking to someone who is in overseas or US or wherever. For him, it was out of his imagination. He would have never thought it. He thought that probably that's God.
So
So,
true.
so,
So true.
so yeah. So same thing I feel today. 4 years ago, the way we were operating in terms of design or companies or teams, it's ridiculous if you think of working performing the same way today, right?
Give
So
me an
it
example.
is. Yeah, as simple as I was in agencies where we had a lot of TTP operators who were supposed to kind of take a particular version of artboard and kind of iterate it to different sizes or different whatever. Say if it's a newspaper ad, every newspaper have their own columns, own section, own sizes. So they used to take this artboard and create it to 10 different whatever versions. That's, I mean, if you're doing the same thing today, people think like you're stupid or whatever. So yeah. So according to me, everything happens twice. So you visualize it once, it happens in your head, and then it happens again in reality by doing it.
Now digital first briefs, right? I mean, I
Sure,
guess you should have,
sure.
where you have to make sure it is very well tied to one, as you mentioned, the business metric. Second, your some sort of goal that you are
Mhm,
chasing
mhm,
in terms
mhm.
of consumer experience. I guess what is the cohort? I guess all these things come together. So
Yeah.
what do you think is the elements of a good digital brief now?
It's like ingredients, right? So you get all the right ingredients, then you put it together, then add some heat to it. I think it will start tasting better. If something can be done by a tool already, then nobody in the team will be doing that manually, right? So we are a very small team, and they're very specific to certain skill sets what they have, and they will never go. No, I don't think so. Never ever a technology can take over those things. So technology can take over certain things which we have already adapted, right? These are the things which has to be done humanly,
Right.
and yeah, that's so I never mix these two things up. So that's how I somehow keep the balance. We should always bear in mind a tool can never think, right? It can think only how much you want it to think, and there is a limit to it as well.
Or it might be a bot talking to a bot in their own show.
Yeah. Even from some things what we are doing right now, the technology could take over a part of it already. So that's where the individual should be aware of it and kind of upskill himself or herself, so that you know that it's at least in terms of your career, whatever you're doing, it's not kind of redundant anymore.
I see a lot of references to recipes. Are you generally interested in food, or is it just a construct more of being around, surrounded by food now?
Yeah, absolutely not. I'm not a foodie at all. And being a vegetarian, I can live with probably curd rice 3 times a day.
Any interesting apps out there? Any interesting designs out there that have sort of inspired you?
So recently, I think, especially in these times, Figma, if I can call out the name,
Yes,
amazing tool. So it was out there, but I didn't explore it much back then. But I think it makes more sense now. I remember back in college where there are certain artworks which are always collaborated. So even if you're doing an oil color work, collaborate with certain artists and do it together. Right? So that's in the digital world right now. That's Figma. There is a saying where never taste the food while it's cooking, because people will already start judging. So that's why I never look at a designer when he's designing it, because he'll start making assumptions. So wait till the final product. So that's why they're kind of secretive about how they do it, where they do it. So they just want to zone out and kind of just get into it and do things.
exactly.
So you'll never know till it's get done.
Yep.
So that's why Figma, it's limited. So for that reason, and that's why Adobe products are built in a particular way, because
Yes.
that's how designers work.
Are you a coffee connoisseur or a chai person?
South Indian filter coffee.
There you go. Any interesting blog or a writer that you definitely read and you would recommend?
If it's one platform which I should call out, I always go to CG Talks. So it's not just about design, I'm also into 3D world. I myself was a character animator for a bit.
Once all of this is over, where
Yeah.
that one place that you'd like to go to?
If I'm traveling to Europe, that's going to be a pretty long trip this time, which I've never done. I haven't left Bangalore. I'm a Bangalore guy. So not more than a week I've ever left Bangalore.
What are you watching on Netflix now? What should I catch up?
Recently, I saw this Wild Wild West, something related to the Osho Foundation. You should watch that. It's very interesting. Good, hello. Thank you. See ya. Have a nice weekend.
Are you back? Okay, we'll sort of get into the zone. Ultimately solving problems. Right. Okay. Hello. I was like, wait, is he pausing to think?